This is RTP. This is RTP180.
I always bring zombies with me before I speak. And if you notice, the guys mostly were wearing the same shirt. We conferred when the blue checkered thing. I do direct new work and create new plays with writers and wonderful artists. And I think sometimes in discussing subjects, performance gives us a way in that nothing else does. So in 2006, I directed a reading based on a book by Studs Terkel. And there he is. The legacy of Studs Terkel is words, and he had a knack for selecting exactly the right ones. He has skill for which he was awarded a Pulitzer Prize in 1985, and the Chicagoan was extraordinary also at eliciting them from others. Whether they were famous or ordinary people, when he hit the record button, people talked. It was his legacy. In fact, the first time I met Studs was in 2005. He was 93, and 3 years before he passed on Halloween. And he offered to teach me and the adapter of the play how to make a martini. And two things struck me. One is he asked me constantly about me. And that was the first time I was with a famous or notable person where he was more concerned with who I was than who he was. And that was extraordinary. The other thing was he almost totally lost his hearing, which was an irony not lost on me because, when a visual artist loses their eyesight, a sculptor loses the use of their hands, and Studs Terkel lost the use of his hearing, which is what he did. In 2004, the adapter of this piece, Derek Goldman, adapted his collection of Will the Circle Be Unbroken? Reflections on Death, Rebirth, and a Hunger for Faith. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and I want to read some of that work. I directed a reading of that in 2006 with some Broadway actors and film actors at Memorial Hall in Chapel Hill, including David Strathairn, who was nominated for Academy Award that year for Good Night and Good Luck. And then there were readings after that of this piece in Chicago and at Georgetown University. Derek met Studs in 1999 in Chicago and started developing this piece, asked his permission, but Studs not only gave permission, but got involved. Like so much of Studs' work, the book is about many things: faith, family, work, justice, race, war, health, and our mortal bodies. But Studs and Derek bonded especially over the fact that there needed to be music in the piece, and the deeply intertwined relationship of death and artistic expression. I'm on script because I'm a new play director. Among the interviews portrayed on stage included Mamie Mobley, who spoke about the brutal killing of her son, 14-year-old Emmett Till, in Money, Mississippi, after allegedly just whistling at a white woman. Also, other interviewees were Kurt Vonnegut and Uga Hagen and Chicago Reader Theater and AIDS activist Justin Hayford, Doc Watson. But there were also just everyday, ordinary people, many of them Chicagoans, like police officers and firemen, parents, EMTs, veterans and teachers, funeral directors, priests, rabbis, political activists, social workers. An innocent man on death row was in the book and also in the performance, and a survivor of Hiroshima. So all of these oral histories became this sort of picture of our impressions and our experiences of death. A vibrant tapestry of life's full process. I'd like to share with you a couple moments in the play. First, the play opened with an actor playing Studs. There was heavy breathing in the dark, and then the lights came on. And he says, "I've courted death ever since I was 6. I was an asthmatic child at my bedside, my eldest brother, to comfort me, would whistle back, 'I'm forever blowing bubbles,' in cadence with my breathing. It was funny and pleasing, but not much help. Death itself was too abstract an idea for me then, though I had, in a cursory fashion, become acquainted with the fact of death. For a week or so, there had been a warning sign on the door of the adjacent house, 'Scarlet fever contagious.' It was taken down the day after the girl died. She was my contemporary, but near as she was, I felt somehow detached, only vaguely saddened. My ailments, though serious, were not of an epidemic proportion. I was born in the year of the Titanic. Now, who would want to live to be 90? Churchill was reputed to have said, 'Everyone who is 89. As I was beginning work on this book, my wife, Ida, died. She was 87, 17 years beyond her traditional allotted time of 70. On occasion, I'd hear her murmur in surprise, "Why do I feel like a girl?" A few months after her death, a friend of mine, disturbed by my occasional despondency, burst out, "For Christ's sake, you had 60 great years with her." "Yeah, but it doesn't cut the mustard, Charlie." Each week, there is a fresh bunch of yellow daisies near the windowsill. On the sill is the urn where her ashes are. On occasion, I mumble toward her, "What do you think about that, kid?" The words of some ersatz philosopher, coffeehouse pundit, or practical joker suit me fine at this moment. I would teach the old that death does not come with old age, but with forgetting. I would walk when others hold back. I would wake when others sleep. I would listen when others talk, and how I would enjoy good chocolate ice cream. I want to read just one other piece, which I find incredibly moving. This is a father who is dying of cancer in his father's home, and his 3-year-old child is with them there too. And in this monologue, you find out that he's sort of feeling really bad, and he has an out-of-body experience. He sort of lifts from his body, and he sees things in the room he didn't even know were there, but he sees them. And this is where the monologue goes. "I can't move. I was like stuck right there in that spot. I can't go down the hallway. I can't float out. None of these things that you would hope, that there is some sort of spirit that moves around. This one's not moving. Then I realized that my daughter was always the first one up. Amelia was going to wake up first. She was going to walk down the hallway, and she was going to come in, and she was going to find me dead in the bedroom. I said, God damn it. Everything I've done to try to insulate this kid from me dying, and I'm going to die in my parents' goddamn house with my kid going to see me. I said, I could have died in the goddamn hospital, and she wouldn't have seen me. God damn it. She's going to see me. What am I going to do now? I tried to yell. I tried to scream, and there was no sound. Nothing. There was the weirdest thing happened. Instinctively, I wanted to call my dad. Dad. And I didn't hear anything, but I could feel a little bit. I got another one out. Dad. Then I heard footsteps coming down the hallway, and I felt my dad touch me on my back, and all of a sudden I was face down in the bed again. I wasn't above. You're cold, Randy. You're really cold, Randy. Are you okay? Yeah, I think I'm okay, Dad. There was something that made me come back, and it was Amelia. It was the agony of a 3-year-old girl who had already been through enough that year, who didn't need to be waking up and finding her dad dead in her grandparents' house. That pulled me back. Thank you very much.